That's what I like to see. Pockets getting hit hard, bro. Hard. Because somebody need to hold these players accountable for the stupidity they have been putting out.
Goes to the locker room and tweets out white privilege in the middle of the game. Now, here's the kicker to me. A flagrant 2 has to be contact that can lead to an injury that looks excessive. DJonai, it was about as excessive as possible. If there was any evidence of there being white privilege, this was not it. What the hell do y'all think?
Now, it states here, Reebok is reportedly dropping their endorsement for DJonai Carrington after she attacked Sophie Cunningham. Let's go.
DJ Carrington might be losing the one thing that was actually going her way this season. And from the looks of it, she only has herself to blame for how quickly it is slipping away. This is not some slow, quiet decline either. This is the kind of collapse that unfolds in real time, in front of cameras, with millions of people watching and scrolling through their phones. And it all comes back to a handful of decisions she made on the court over the course of a single week. Do you think DJ Carrington is really to blame for what's happening to her, or is she being judged too harshly for a few moments on the court?
Get this here, Reebok is reportedly dropping their endorsement for DJonai Carrington after she attacked Sophie Cunningham. Okay, and a bunch of people are saying this is true. You know, I don't know, but here it says, perfect. Good job, Reebok, for having a morals clause in her contract and enforcing it by pulling it. Carrington is a bully that the league apparently is protecting. Wake up, WNBA, before someone really gets hurt. You'll get sued because we Americans won't stand for this abuse. Do you agree with me?
Word is spreading that Reebok may be quietly considering cutting ties with Carrington, and the name being mentioned as a possible replacement on its roster of endorsed athletes is not some random rookie nobody has heard of. It's Sophie Cunningham. Yes, that's Sophie Cunningham, the same player Carrington has spent the past week fouling like she owes her money. If this is actually true, it would be one of the wildest turnarounds you'll see in sports marketing this year, because just a few months ago, nobody would have expected these two names to become connected in a shoe deal story, let alone end up on opposite sides of a controversy that could now threaten one of their careers financially.
The layup, that is just a hard hit. That's definitely going to be upgraded, I think, to a flagrant 2, Ryan.
I think that is going to be a flagrant 2. There is wind up, there is follow through, there's potential for injury.
Without
Sophie
question.
Cunningham in a vulnerable position in the air.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I mean, there's no question.
WNBA player DiJonai Carrington of the Chicago Sky was ejected after a flagrant 2 foul on Sophie Cunningham in last night's WNBA game. As you saw from the video, Sophie was going for a fast break layup when DiJonai decided it would be a good idea to go after her head instead of the ball. So that obviously prompted the flagrant 2. The referees take a look at it and she was ejected, and a lot of people are calling for her suspension after this.
Here's how we got to this point. Reebok signed Carrington some time ago, hoping she would become one of the faces of their basketball line. Someone with personality, someone fans would want to support both on the court and away from it. That is the entire purpose of an endorsement deal. A brand is not just paying for your jump shot. They are paying for the way you make people feel when they see your name on a box in a store or an ad playing before their favorite video. And lately, the way DJ Carrington has made people feel has not exactly been warm and positive. It has been the complete opposite, and brands notice that kind of shift much faster than most fans realize.
Because of the timeline of everything, and because of, if you want to call it the jealous nature, the legitimate hatred for somebody because of what they believe in and because of what they look like and because of how popular they are, I could say it's a targeted attack.
Yeah, oh, clearly. I mean, I think most people believe that.
But then on top of that, you know, it's not only white privilege she puts out there, she puts the next, in our next post, she puts the game date of the next time they're going to play the Fever.
Yep.
I mean, that's almost like, it feels to me like it's a
Over
threat.
the course of just 1 week, Carrington committed 3 separate fouls that had people replaying the footage simply to make sure they had seen it correctly the first time. These were not hustle fouls. They were not the kind of contact you can easily dismiss as two competitors battling for position in a physical league. These were the types of plays that make analysts go silent for a moment before they even know what to say on air. And every single one of them somehow involves Sophie Cunningham, which is exactly the kind of coincidence that stops feeling like a coincidence after the third time it happens within the same few days.
DJonai with another signature move yet again versus the Valks tonight.
And then she put both hands up.
Damn. What is she doing with her left hand? Look at her left hand. Just boom, let me just poke you in the eye real quick. What is this goofball, uncoordinated individual doing, poking somebody in the eye with their hands up? Hands up. Dude, this is so bad. Hands up. Swipe for the ball with our right hand while poking the player in the eye with the left hand. You really can't make this stuff up. Hey.
Now look, physical basketball is nothing new. Nobody is asking players to go easy out there. And toughness has always been part of what makes this league so entertaining to watch. But there is a difference between playing tough and playing recklessly, and many people watching these clips felt that Carrington crossed that line more than once in just a matter of days. That is not a one-time bad night that you simply brush off after getting some sleep. That is a pattern, and patterns are exactly what a brand's marketing team watches closely when deciding who gets to keep wearing its logo on national television.
DJonai decided to post from the locker room on Threads saying white privilege. Cunningham herself admitted that she's been ejected for the exact same thing before and deserved it. Yet that card got played in seconds before the ejection even cooled off. Now, a sitting state attorney general just told an entire professional league that he will treat their hardest fouls as criminal assault. Florida doesn't even have a WNBA team. This is literally a warning, not a jurisdiction, people. You fucking clotheslined her. And I would be saying this about anybody, regardless of what the fuck they look like. Literally, right when the WNBA was really starting to become exciting.
Then came the interview that transformed a basketball story into something much bigger than basketball. After being criticized for the contact, Carrington did not exactly calm things down the way most players in her position might have. Instead of simply taking responsibility for the play and moving on, she brought up the phrase white privilege while discussing Cunningham, turning a conversation about a physical foul into a much broader discussion about intent, motives, and everything else that comes with using such a loaded phrase publicly in front of reporters. Whether you believe that comment was fair or not, or whether you think it had anything to do with what actually happened on the court, one thing is undeniable. It completely changed the tone of the story overnight, and not in a way that helped her case with people watching from the outside.
Coach loves us. She didn't see the clip. You know what, DJonai, she is a hell of a player. She's a great defender. And so she coached her for I don't know how many years up in Connecticut. So give her flowers, and she didn't see it, and that's okay. Me and Steph are great. Steph is great with all of us. And so it's really the outside noise that's trying to distract us, but we're good.
That is the kind of headline brands dread seeing connected to their name. Because this is not just fans complaining for a day and forgetting about it by the weekend. It is turning into a genuine movement, with people openly saying they will stop buying Reebok products as long as Carrington remains on the roster of endorsed athletes. When customers start threatening a boycott because of one athlete's behavior, that is when a marketing department stops debating internally and starts scrambling for a solution. Because lost sales are much harder to explain away during a quarterly earnings call than a bad foul is to explain away on a highlight show the next morning.
DiJonai Carrington is on the brink of being dropped by Reebok, and let me tell you what, man, this is not good for DiJonai Carrington at all. And then you have this going on as well. Thousands demand Reebok drop DiJonai Carrington after brutal attack on Sophie Cunningham. Hold her accountable. I firmly support Reebok dropping DiJonai Carrington's endorsement. Okay, so a lot of people are, getting behind this thing, and DiJonai Carrington is on the brink of potentially losing millions of dollars with sponsorship. Here it says breaking thousands of people are calling Reebok to drop. This thing is everywhere, man. This thing is everywhere. So
Carrington tried to walk some of it back. There was a statement, some softer comments to reporters, and an attempt to present the whole situation as heated competition rather than anything personal or intentional. On paper, that is usually the right move. Own it, soften the message, move forward, and let the next strong performance do the talking instead. But the backtrack has not landed the way these situations normally do because it came after 3 fouls and 1 loaded comment. This was not just one bad moment that people could easily forgive and forget within a day or two. Once a pattern is already out there through slow-motion clips being shared everywhere across every platform. One apology does not really erase 3 separate incidents stacked on top of each other during the exact same week.
She said she never once claimed that the assessment of the foul was white privilege. That was your assumption. All I could say is, if you are posting during the game, is my understanding, it doesn't take a genius to connect the two together. Sure, it's very vague, and that's kind of the criticism of this whole thing. It's a vague critique that has no relevance to what transpired. There was nothing about what transpired that had anything to do with white privilege. It's really that simple, right? I don't got nothing personally against her. I hate that her game doesn't have her in the spotlight right now because she had been playing pretty well. She had the Sky on a 3-1 record with her returning. This is just an L across the board for her, and she just continues to double down on it. And I like what Acho said. The rarest W for him. He said, the burden is on you for being clear, direct, and easy to understand. She left so much room for people to take that a million different directions. People that were supporting her were taking it a million different directions than she probably meant. And her inability to just chalk it up to, hey, I was frustrated, I had a lot of things on my mind, and I post that, I shouldn't have made that post. That would have gotten her a lot more grace, but doubling down on this nonsense, I don't get it. I don't get why people support it, but hey, y'all got it.
You are going to suggest that we should think critically about a statement white privilege when you at the Indiana Fever, you didn't give us much to think critically about. We, the interpreter, now have to try to figure out what exactly were you talking about? Well, common sense would deduce that you were talking about fouling a white individual and getting ejected for fouling that white individual. Now, as I said on social media and I will say in real life, if that is not what you were talking about implying, then that's on me. I will stand down and I will stand corrected. But the last thing I must again reiterate, so many people have asked you amongst others, well then what are you talking about? We still have yet to get a response. All that DJonai, you have told us is, hey, I wasn't talking about the foul. Well then, what were you talking about? I refuse to believe on behalf of everybody that is confused, we're not all idiots and you are the one genius in the room. That's just not the case. So I say this with all respect. I respect your intelligence. I respect your response. And you currently on the court hooping, so respect to you. But there's still a lot of errors